Welcome back. Now in this video, I want to deal with Black American crime, or crime that's committed by Black Americans here in the United States. I don't care that Black Americans have some of the lowest crime rates in the world. That is a point that's only relevant when people try to compare us to the rest of the world. We should, and all people should, look at the problems that they have and try to solve them, not compare them or the prevalence of it to other groups. So I want to focus on Black Americans. Now, whose fault is it? Who do I blame? I'm going to tell you who I blame almost exclusively for the crimes committed by Black Americans. Also keep in mind that Black Americans are responsible for roughly half of crimes committed. And I know that's hard for most people to process. When you think of crime in the United States, the racists have brainwashed the masses to believe that blacks are responsible for 100% of crime, 100% of homicides, robberies, etc. And that's simply not true. But let's deal with it. Who do I blame? I blame, first of all, the government. I also blame the music industry. When I say the music industry, I'm also talking about YouTube. And I also blame single Black mothers. That tag team right there is exclusively responsible for the crimes in the United States committed by Black Americans. Single Black mothers joined forces with the government when it comes to removing fathers from the home. That was like a tag team joint that they pulled off there. The government offered it to them, which is basically proposing like death. Like, hey, Black American women, you want to destroy your family? You want to destroy your communities? Leave your kids' fathers, and we will support you financially. You see, when you talk to a lot of Black people, especially Black women, they will say, yeah, the government orchestrated it by removing the fathers from the home. They didn't simply remove the fathers from the home. They made an offer and they left it up to Black women whether or not they would accept it. That's what happened. If 100% of Black women rejected that offer, you would not have a single mother epidemic. And when kids are raised by single mothers, there's a much higher chance that those kids become involved in criminal activities. So that was a tag team effort. The government and Black women, and understand, at the time when the government offered it to them, they were not single mothers. Single mothers did not dominate their population at that time. So that's one of the biggest problems. Another joint effort was the music industry. And again, when I say the music industry, I'm including YouTube. YouTube, along with all of these record companies, TV programs, everyone who is responsible for glorifying crime among black Americans. They, once again, tag teamed with single black mothers. Single black mothers basically said, hey, go ahead and create this pro-criminal music, and I'm going to raise my kids on it. I'm going to shuck and jive, and I'm going to jam to that music myself, and I'm going to raise my kids on blow a nigga brains out, kill a nigga, I kill a nigga, I got bodies, and shoot a nigga, sell dope. I'm going to raise my kids on that with a smile on my face. That was a joint effort. A joint effort. And when you go inside of the homes of many of these single black mothers, it's unbelievable what you see. Where you see single black mothers teaching toddlers the lyrics to these rap songs. These demonic kill a nigga rap songs. That's what I refer to them as. Kill a nigga, kill a nigga, kill a nigga. I tote my gun. I got my gun and I'll blow your brains out. I got my gun. I'll blow your brains out. You know, when they're rapping, they don't rap about blowing the brains out of no East Indian, of no Caucasian, of no Hispanic. They glorify the murdering of other blacks only. Do you understand me? Only. They would not glorify the murder of non-blacks. It is an anti-black music genre. That's what it is. Specifically, gangster rap and drill music. Drill music is just a different type of gangster rap. It's more demonic, it's more sinister, and it's more dangerous. It influences the listeners far more to actually commit crime. Drill music. This is who I blame. So in both cases, notice how it involves these single black mothers. When you're looking at these neighborhoods in Chicago, you're talking about enormous matriarch communities. You're looking at Keisha communities. That's how I sum them up. These are Keisha communities. All these hoods and different gang sets, these are Keisha communities. This is what they have cultivated. And no matter how demonic and sinister the music is, understand, they raise these. Y'all, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the rapper Young Pappy. Young Pappy. And this is just one example out of many. Young Pappy was a rapper from Chicago who was unalived, I think around 2015. He was a drill rapper from Chicago. And he was, he used to rap about the people that he unalived. He actually had bodies, and he actually shot many people. And when he would shoot them, when he would unalive people, he would make songs about it, many times immediately. That's what drill rappers do. That's what drill rap is all about. Well, Young Pappy started rapping at 4 years old. 4 years old. Who do you think was governing that? His mother. This takes place inside of these households. This is what they're doing in there. The mother is blasting this music every day, waking up to it, and they're raising their kids on it. Now you combine this music with the environment that they grow up in, and it's almost guaranteed they're going to grow up being involved in criminal activity. Many times these black mothers, they know that their sons sell drugs, and they don't care. They actually support it because they look for money from their drug dealing sons. This is overlooked quite often. It's overlooked how the mothers play such a huge role in the cultivating of these so-called criminals, of these black criminals. They raise them into the criminal culture. And y'all have no idea how many deaths are helped or carried out by black women setting up the murders. They call it backdoor, being backdoored. They are always calling shooters to give the shooters the location of somebody that they want to shoot. They nicknamed them backdoor queens. Man, please, I'll be here forever giving you a list of the deaths and shootings where black women were involved. And single black mothers need to understand. And let's also point this out. The vast majority of these single black mothers are single by choice. They left their kids' fathers. And when you're talking about the modern era, it really doesn't matter because most of their kids' fathers was also raised by a single mother. And those fathers would probably be inadequate as fathers. I talked about this before, where the generational link of fathers has been broken. And when you do that, it can disrupt where you have to start all over and learn how to be a father. Very destructive. So these drill music is supported. These criminals, they talk about these criminals as if they're so horrible. Or if they're so horrible, why do these music industries, why does YouTube treat them like celebrities? Huh? Why is crime glorified on YouTube and in the music industry if it's so horrible? DJ Vlad, for example, became rich off of glorifying black crime. Oh yeah. Hordes of white people love to get into black criminality. So the actual criminals, they view crime as a path to wealth. Because if you go out here and you unalive a few people and then you rap about it, you're going to blow up. And then Vlad is going to invite you for an interview. And then you're going to blow up even more. Vlad is just one out of many of these white people who help to glorify black crime. Cam Capone is another one. Trap Lord Ross is another one. These are whole white dudes who interview murderers. They help to give those murderers a platform. They help to build their following. They help to increase the wealth of these murderers. Black criminals are actually created created, they're glorified, they are endorsed in this country. And then people want to turn around and just only look at black people. And we're really mainly talking about black men. See, we as blacks, we don't have the wealth that the music industry has. We don't have the influence that the music industry has. So the music industry, YouTube, they have the power to cancel gangster rap. For example, if gangster rap was not allowed on YouTube, if it was not allowed in these music industries, then it would simply not exist. It would not exist as motivation. I've been talking about this for a long time, how they always try to minimize their own role in black criminality. They always try to minimize their part in it. That's why I come in and focus on it. Now listen to this and watch this.
What is this?
Looks like a bank.
Wait. Now I think this is in Chicago. And this is a Dunkin' Donuts.
Straight bulletproof glass through the whole thing, man. I mean, you can't even breathe on these people. Look how sealed this is. This is a professional seal. Like, you can't even talk to these people, man.
It's a bank for donuts, for Boston cream donuts.
Getting up every day and seeing something like this, bro, that do something to your mental up here. It tell you, like, this how you feed animals in a zoo, gang.
That's terrible,
That's
man.
pretty much what it's telling your mentality. Like, I don't trust you. You feel what I'm saying? At what point do we be like, we tired of getting treated like animals, tired of getting treated like this? Like, bro.
Now this is Keisha culture right here. Everything that you're hearing from this black dude. Keisha culture. Is that really how you look at it? They're treating us like animals and it's having an effect on our mental. Why does it instantly go to, oh, I'm being mistreated by bulletproof glass? I personally wouldn't care. I walk in, oh, okay, they got security. Oh, okay, they have a way of protecting themselves from people who might try to rob the place. I wouldn't care. But to twist this into, oh, this is them mistreating blacks and treating us like animals. Are you serious? That is pathetic.
To your mental up here, it tell you, like, this how you feed animals in a zoo, gang.
That's terrible,
That's
man.
pretty much what it's telling your mentality. Like, I don't trust you. You feel what I'm saying? At what point do we be like, we tired of getting treated like animals, tired of getting treated like this? Like, bro, like,
Lock up your criminals.
you telling me I can't even hand you my money, gang?
He said, lock up your criminals. First of all, we as citizens don't have the power to lock anybody up. Second of all, simply locking them up is not going to solve the problem. Because you're going to still have this tag team and understand that finances also plays a role. Poverty also plays a role, okay? And that's a whole video unto itself. But locking them up is not the simple solution, because y'all have established sort of like a production line to produce criminals. This government is heavily invested in producing criminals, creating criminals, and then they pretend as if they are not. Y'all creating them. Y'all basically make it mandatory that if you want to be a rapper, you gotta rap about unaliving other black people. You gotta rap about selling drugs, shooting your blick. How can you claim to not share responsibility in crime when you got stuff like this going on? If y'all hate criminals, black criminals, so much, why do you glorify them? Why do you make them celebrities? Why do you turn them into celebrities? You got them plastered all over the television. In many cases, you give them mansions and luxury cars that they don't even own, but you give it to them so that in the videos, they can have more influence over the young listeners. Stop acting like y'all don't play a role in the creation of these criminals. You create the criminals, and then you glorify them. You create them, then you platform them. You create them, and then you make stars out of them. And then when it's convenient to you, you want to turn around and say, oh, black criminals are such a problem. They need to hold themselves accountable. Get out of here.
Like, bro, like, you grow up, imagine you see this every day for your whole life, and then you go to someplace else and you see them handing the money, you gonna think something wrong with you, gang.
No. What? As if you're not aware of the crime in your neighborhood. Dude, stop it. Stop it. A lot of dudes like this, they don't want to point the finger at their single mothers. They don't want to examine the role that their single mothers play. Don't we always point the finger at the parents when you're talking about dysfunctional children? Because these criminals in Chicago and other parts of the country, they become criminals at early ages, 12, 13. At ages like that, you know full well that the parents or the parent played a major role. A major role in their creation. This is probably the least talked about dynamic when it comes to black criminals, is the role that the single mothers play. Because when you look at these criminals' background, they're almost always raised by a single mother, and if the father is there, he was some type of notorious gangster as well. And helped her, and if you keep going back, you'll eventually run into where there was a single mother. At what point do you examine their role in the creation? Because you can protect your kids from these criminal elements. They don't. They do the opposite. They raise them in it. They want young black kids to look up to criminals. Those criminals are the rappers. It's not just the black mothers who want them to idolize criminals. It's also the white government, the white music industries, the white execs, the CEOs of YouTube. They want us to idolize criminals and to look up to them as role models. That's why they're constantly plastering them all over the television and telling future potential artists that you have to glorify criminality. What I don't like about so-called black crime is the role that the people who complain about it play in it. You don't get to do that. Y'all glorify black criminality. You make it seem like black men who are criminals are actually celebrities, and they treat them like celebrities. The YouTube right now is littered with interviews of killers. Killers are interviewed, and the interviewer is white. Many of the listeners, the people who leave comments, who are fans of these criminals, are white. They love to ignore how much they support blacks as criminals. Yeah, you don't get to do that.
It's crazy mentality.
Well, that's what happens when you don't put criminals in jail. You
No,
gotta put
you see, you just throw them in jail knowing full well that the society is going to keep producing them till eventually your prisons are overflowing. And that's exactly what the plan was. That's why they started to build these prisons en masse at the same time that the Letter Boys created gangster rap. They knew what they were doing. And they want to turn around, oh, look at these people, they're savages. When the truth is, this is simply your little experiment that you don't carry out on any other people. Just throw them in jail. You're basically co-signing more criminal activity with a response like that. How about this? How about throw them in jail and then make drill illegal? Make certain lyrical content illegal. It got so bad that drill is all about rapping about real homicides that you can look up in the news. Yeah, how about make that illegal? No, you don't want to do that. How about making it illegal to talk about unaliving people in songs? You don't want to do that. And you only want one race to rap about that: blacks. You don't platform any other group involved in this type of degeneracy. I'm not going to overlook the role of the people with the resources. When you have people who invest in something, the most important investors are the ones who have the most resources. You don't get to play as if you're innocent.
put the donuts in jail instead.
He pretty quickly picked me up and
This
he
is a
threw me on the
restaurant
chair.
robbery.
Okay. Now they're talking about sending the National Guard to Chicago. They want to send the National Guard to Chicago. For what? That's not a permanent solution. They're not going, you don't plan on keeping them there forever. It's a front to make it seem like Trump is trying to put a stop to crime. No, you're not. If you were truly trying to put an end to black crime, you would change the culture that you have endorsed, that you've put a stamp of, that you've created for those black criminals. The black criminals have a culture that the society has provided to them. And they are the only ones with the power to provide that. You don't get to play innocent as if you're not also to blame. You are also to blame. All of you. You listen to this garbage, you are also to blame. You're helping to make the criminals rich, you are also to blame. I don't want to hear nothing. Everybody, these people are always trying to play innocent. You're not innocent. Now, there's always a level of personal accountability. Always. And there are a lot of, well, I won't say a lot, the vast majority of black men are not involved in criminal activity. Let's just put that out there. The vast majority of black men are not involved in criminal activity. They don't have bodies. They have never unalived anyone. They may have been in a scuffle here and there. They may have taken something that don't belong to them, which is related to poverty. But when you let them tell it, the majority of black men are criminals and violent. If that were true, man, y'all would white people would be getting beaten up every day, all day. Y'all wouldn't even be able to walk to the store to get groceries. Almost every black man, see you, beat you up and rob you. Is that happening? Is that really happening? No, it's not. And most of you, like this guy, you're not actually dealing with black criminals in your day-to-day life at all. You're going to the store, you're going to the shopping mall peacefully. You're not being robbed. You're looking at what's happening in the inner cities. There's also something crazy. Look at this. Look at Keisha's community. And I make no apologies. The roughest, most degenerate hoods, these are matriarch communities. They are headed by single black mothers who conditioned and raised their sons on criminal activity, raised them to look up to criminals, to glorify criminal activity. And if their sons at age 5, 6, or 7 starts to rap, and their rap lyrics is full of unaliving other black people, those single black mothers are going to support it. Look at this.
Oh, criminals. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? They're dancing after that officer was just accosted. But apparently looting here is out of control too. This happened at Nordstrom's.
I don't know. Oh, they robbed Nordstrom. Here they go.
Where are they? Oh, look at them getting in the car.
He's rotting. I've always wanted to
He
see
just
this in
threw a
real
bunch
life.
of stuff in there.
Where do you think they're going to go, Adam?
Nick Fuentes recently made a video in response to Raha Jackson's attack. And people are trying to project his attempted murder as a black thing. No, it's a Raha thing. It's an individual thing. We're not going to take responsibility for lone wolves. How many other black men have you seen try to beat a white person to death? For most of you, that's the first time you ever seen something like that. Don't tell me that I'm responsible for that. Don't tell me that somehow I'm to blame for him trying to beat this white dude to death. Because if we're going to play that game, then that transsexual who recently shot up a bunch of kids, unalived a couple kids, guess what that is? White supremacist culture. You don't want to accept that, do you? Anytime an individual black person here or there does something, oh, that's black culture. Well, guess what? When y'all do something, that's white culture. You get busted as a predator, a child predator, we're going to chalk that up as white culture. This recent shooting where kids were unalive, that's white culture. This can go both ways, you know, because again, it's only around 50% of homicides are carried out by blacks. And no, we do not make up 13% of the United States. We make up more like 50% of the United States. We're not going to have these double standards, and we're not going to overlook white society. We're not going to overlook, we're not going to minimize white society's role in the creation of black criminals. Notice how prior to 1960, you didn't have this problem. Black criminality as we see it today had to be invented. It had to be created through social conditioning. They made a strong effort to create a black criminal class, whereas before that time, they simply had to label any and everything black people did as criminal. We walk on the wrong side of the street, that's a crime. Drink out of a white fountain, that's a crime. Try to live in a white area, walk through a white, that's a crime. They had to make us breathing a crime. And then eventually they came up with these different tactics. Let's get black kids away from their fathers, and then let's replace their fathers with gangster criminals that they're going to idolize and look up to. Starting at the earliest, youngest ages possible. And don't worry, the single black mothers will cooperate, because they're going to be fascinated by these gangster pookies as well, because they truly hate themselves. They knew and banked on the fact that black women were dealing with self-hatred. Severe self-hatred. How many of you are aware that there are a number of black mothers who are not only single by choice, but they impregnated themselves by going to a sperm bank? This is actually pretty common when you're talking about black American women.
Man. Keep watching.
I found out I was going to be a mom, a single mom. I had several options. I've always to be a mother. It just happens. It is an
question. A lot of people who choose this path, a common question that we're asked is your support system. Who's your support system? How are you able to do this? I have a really strong support system, and that probably helped.
See that? Many of these biracial kids that you see these single black women with, they went to a sperm bank.
With my decision to be a single mom by choice, I'm extremely close to my mom and my dad.
So hi, I'm a single mom by choice, and here I have my little teeth there.
Didn't I say that these single black mothers are single by choice? Thanks to the internet, we have many of them confessing to that.
Sorry, I'm taking out my hair and I had it up for too long. But anyway, I wanted to answer your question. Say hi, Mama. So, you will deal with negative comments and things like that from people. And the best thing I would say is just ignore them. And that's what I do. I ignore them. Because I know that I made the best decision for me and my family. My two girls are beautiful. They're well loved and taken care of. And,
nobody's going to tell me that these damaged women have not contributed to black crime. You got a single mother who hates herself to death. So, if any of them actually have black kids, they're going to hate them. Especially if they're boys. They're going to hate them. But they will never hate their biracial kids. They will never abort their biracial kids.
You up with all the things that I've learned, especially if you are considering becoming a mom.
His name is Kylo. He's 4 months. Okay, so this is my baby. His name is Kylo. He's 4 months. He was donor conceived with at-home insemination. I'm gonna give y'all a rundown of what I did. It was free.
And this is a hood rat, Keisha. Artificial insemination.
We only paid $50.
Only $50, huh? For a magical mixed race baby. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you their self-hatred. You're going to be more likely to be a criminal if you grow up being hated and abused. Black women are at the top of the list when it comes to being abusive to their kids, especially when it's a boy.
And that's it. But I'm finna get into story time. And then we tried immediately after that. She went through this app called Just a Baby. Just a Baby. Let me show you the app. Okay, y'all. So this is the app. It looks just like this. It says Just a Baby on it. She went through this app to find the donor. I let her do everything. Like, she would send me pictures and I'd say, no, not him, no, not him. And we'll like weigh our options or whatever the case may be. So we found the donor. And she was messaging him or whatever. He was way in Houston, which is not too far. We're in Dallas, but he's in Houston. So like she was contacting him, messaging him or whatever. He told us we was on TikTok also. We got like.
So yeah.
These Keishas go in these sperm banks and they look for white donors. They go in there and they look for Latina donors. Many of you see at the grocery store, you'll see a big back Keisha with a biracial kid. Many of them went to a sperm bank. They hate themselves that much. They hate how they look that much.
The sperm donor selection process was probably the hardest part of the process for me, because it just was trying to search for a African American donor.
You are not searching for no African American donor, Keisha. Stop lying. Stop lying. Now you can find the everyday black woman talking about this amongst themselves in their own little circles. Look at this. Black women struggle to find black sperm donors. Yeah, I bet you do. That's savage. To go jerk off in a cup, give somebody my sperm, and to know that my biological kids are going to be roaming around out here somewhere and I don't know nothing about them. And it's savage and subhuman for you to want to be pregnant in that way. Look at this. Look at this. When Venus Baby, a black woman who lives on the South Side, decided to become a single mother, she knew she wanted a baby who shares her ethnicity. Lie. You're lying. Look at this. The amount of black sperm donors are very low here in the U.S. Look at this. For my friends, they chose sperm donors who were not black. This was posted a year ago. Your friends, plural. They chose sperm donors who were not black. Y'all thinking that all of these Keishas, single mother Keishas out here, have been laying up with these non-black men? Some of them have. And some of them went to sperm banks. They're that desperate and value non-black men that much. This contributes to black criminality. Boys growing up feel hated, and trust me, growing up, these black boys, they feel and see the hatred from their mothers. They're not oblivious to it at all. And they feel worthless, they feel like nobody, and the only way they feel like they can be somebody is to be a rapper. Best way and easiest way to be a rapper, go unalive somebody and rap about it. According to them, their kids' racial makeup didn't stop them from immersing their kids in black cultures. So they get a white man's sperm or Mexican man's sperm and then tell them that you're a black kid, you're a black baby. This is sick. The sororities, look at this. The sororities and fraternities should work together to shore up. Yeah, right. This is crazy. And look at how A lot of them are involved in this. Look at this. This is a global problem. Even in Europe, the black donor selection is sparse. Notice how they don't say that there are no black donors. They just say that there are very few of them. It's because you're not looking for them at all anyways. And you don't need no black male donor. You can easily find some pookie to lay up with because you're trying to be a single mother by choice anyways. So you don't care if he sticks around or not. You can easily go lay up with some pookie and get pregnant. They don't want to. Now, if these are the single mothers raising these criminals primarily, don't tell me this don't contribute to it. Where these gangsters have grown up feeling hated by their mothers. Look at it. And we are competing with the many white women who fetishize mixed. No, you black women look at mixed babies as a fetish. Far more so than white women. What are you talking about? They love trying to blame white women for something. Now look at this comment. Sane black men don't want a bunch of his biological kids being raised without them. But insane ones have no problem breeding the normal way. As if to say that the insane ones are the ones who leave their kids. No, Keisha, you're the one leaving your kids' fathers. And this is based on your own admissions. Look at this. I'm a black lesbian who was trying to conceive with my then wife back in 2021. It was disappointing how hard it was to find black donors. I ended up using a white donor. And they're trying to project this idea that the reason why they chose white donors is not because of self-hatred. They want to conceal the fact they're doing it because of their self-hatred and how much they look at it as a fetish, how much they value white men's DNA, white men's genes. They look at it as gold. They don't want to come out and say that. So instead they'll say, oh, I just couldn't find a black donor. I looked and couldn't find him, so I had to settle with a white donor. Look at this. Look at this. This is sick. Most sperm banks also require black donors to have a degree or pursuing higher education, so many black men don't qualify. Really? Really? Look at it. I don't think that's just a black donor requirement. Most sperm banks require all donors to have a degree or in the process of attaining one. Is this why y'all flocking to sperm banks? Because you know it's full of a bunch of white men who jerked off in the cup? Huh? The self-hatred that the masses of black women carry is an epidemic. It's largely ignored, and it contributes to a lot of dysfunctional children. I've talked about and shown you how many of these gangsters in Chicago, they started shooting guns at age 12, 13. Many of them have bodies at that early age. That is extremely common. Extremely common. The first question is, what have these kids been going through between the ages of 0 and 13? Who had the most control and influence over their upbringing? Their single mothers. Does it really sound like they're getting love from their single mothers? No. No. They're growing up feeling hated, being abused verbally and physically. Then you turn on the TV, here's some Lil Wayne, here's some goofy drill rapper bragging about how many people he unalived and how rich he is because he rapped about it. And this is a quick way to get rich. Black crime is not simply the result of black men having a degenerate character. It's always influenced by something, because there's nothing biologically wrong with black people. That's what they're really trying to suggest. That these people are animals. They're trying to substantiate scientific racism. Who are prone to if we were prone to criminality and it was such a natural thing for us, why such a concentrated effort to create black criminals? Yeah, nobody's dumb. This is sick. And this is a dynamic among black women that's not talked about enough. How anti-black they are. I said this over a decade ago on my SBW channel. They will never abort a white man's seed, ever. I don't care if they hate that white man. They will, if they become pregnant by a white man, they will not abort that child. They don't care that if he sticks around or not. And they prefer that he doesn't stick around. So who are the primary babies that they are aborting? Black boys. Telling you what? Black boys are the most hated children in this country. And the majority of that hate comes from their own mothers. The secondary hate comes from society itself. With these people glorifying black criminals. That's my take. What's yours?